Stereo. Translation. Yes. प्रॉब्लम ये है प्रोनाउंसमेंट में हमने सुबह भी कहा हमारे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन वायरस चैलेंज है तो हमारे को वही बस खाली टाइम ले रहा है, और वायरस चैलेंज में हमको क्या है कि वी कांट जस्ट से कि ये है या ये नहीं है. So there has been a mentioning on your part, Mr. Bajwa, the same petitioner, or the.
Yes. This is the parole.
So this parole was argued by the senior counsel on the other day. We have reserved it, and ordinarily, as you all know and you are well aware, that paroles are normally a very small order, so it comes next day or at best second day. The only issue with this parole was that they have challenged the rule 1 of the rules of 2021. So that is sort of delayed the pronouncement, or say contemplation, because it will impact if we say that it is outside state. In state, if we say something, it will impact.
It's a catch-22,
yes,
as far as I am told, because he also convicted in a case at Gujarat. And Rajasthan.
So maybe public prosecutor is right in a way, although ordinarily we would not. Let us first pronounce that.
As one was saying, proper. I don't know what mention, because I am informed that he's not keeping well.
Yes.
And 2 or 3 days back, he was again shifted to AIMS.
Yes.
So the situation was that as far as the man is concerned, he's nearing 90 and he cannot undergo a bypass. So he probably under that mindset is also not giving consent for bypass. AIMS is saying that bypass is very risky. The chances are very bleak for the man to survive on the operation table. So it's a catch-22 situation. And in that light, we had filed an application for Ayurvedic treatment, which found favor with the court, and the Honorable Coordinate Bench was pleased to make an arrangement for his treatment in Arogyam. But that is slow and the process takes time. So he has been off and on going there, seeking Ayurvedic treatment. To some extent, it is helping him out also. But in all these circumstances, our anxiety is that the appeal doesn't get infructuous. Infructuous in the sense that it doesn't get abated. And it needs to be heard because it's been more than now about 11 and a half years. 2013 he has been incarcerated.
This his actual custody is 11 years plus.
Actual the date of arrest, I'll give the date of arrest. 1st September 2013.
So that yes.
So about 11 years.
His actual custody is 11 years.
Actual custody is 11.
And what would be remission and all?
More than 12 months.
He's sentenced to life.
And
it is sentenced life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment for the natural life. And the allegation has come up first time for qualifying an offense of rape in the court statement that he kissed my genitals. There is no penile penetration, nothing. He kissed my genitals and it took them all this while to reach the court dock, court witness box to state that. And that became incidentally an offense by way of an amendment in 2013 that kissing a genital is also a rape.
Would he, what will happen, Mr. Bajwa? What will happen? What will be the consequence of the other appeal? Also must be pending.
Other appeal is pending. I'm told they filed an application for suspension of sentence, which was heard at length, and the order is reserved for suspension of that sentence. So, 14th, I'm told 14th August, the pronouncement is there.
Because in case we decide, we don't know, we just don't know what is going to happen, because we are yet to examine it. But the impact will be not help you out, even if he is not well, and the impact of it may not help you out, may help you, may not help you, may help you, may not help.
The decision of the appeal.
Yes.
No, this way or that way, it has to meet its fate.
No, it will meet. It will meet. But the circumstances and the first opening submission made by you is projecting a necessity of hearing in light of the fact that he is not well. So the question is that whether there would be, whether or not the court comes to the conclusion, whether either way it will not help you.
No, but as.
We are on the first point, first point.
There, it is not, the sentence is not for the entire natural life. So on 14th, that verdict would also come. So in case if the sentence gets suspended, then this is the only conviction which would keep me inside. And apart from that, since your lordship is also seized with the parole matter, and if that parole matter is decided, in that if he gets a reprieve, so that he can at least get himself medically treated.
Mr. You are the petitioner in that case, no?
Yes.
Petitioner in person in that case. We'll decide it. We'll decide it. We have senior counsel is addressing us. Just one question which arises in our mind, that if at all the court decides it in your favor, if at all, would you go in the custody at your own cost? Because it was also informed in the morning by the AAG that when you were left to your own cost and custody, you tried to, you were not happy about it and you moved this thing and then again you came back and all. So just a question, we don't perceive these as results because we don't know what is happening. Me and lordships are.
Literature that I annexed, but R. Makuji has also elaborated in written argument, clearly specified that social isolation is an important risk factor for critical heart patients. It is not.
Question is very straight.
Yes, sir.
Are you prepared to go in custody on your cost?
Requires treatment at any cost. That is the situation that he has. But there is also a situation where it has been experienced. He tried taking in custody treatment. And what happened that time, it was traumatic for him. And then he was reluctant to, for a long time, to go to even Arogya. So, my lord, I am not I go down that whatever your whatever protect your
Wait.
What I had argued that matter there, and an order by Justice Mehta's division bench was given to us that you will go in custody. Then we filed an application for amendment saying that even in the room where he was given custody, constables were surrounding him. We showed him photographs. Then the court was kind enough to say that custody doesn't mean that you have to stand on his head like that. Everybody has a right to his privacy. So that privacy during the course of treatment is furthermore required to be maintained. So in that light, some amends were made, but eventually, to be fair to the court, it is a fact that subsequently an application was also filed that paying the cost was coming heavy as far as security payment privately was concerned. So that was also an application was filed and the court was also kind enough again to give a relaxation on that count. So he goes to Arogyam, he takes treatment there. So as far as Arogyam is concerned, he has been intermittently going there and seeking treatment. But I don't know as far as this application is concerned, what are prayer there?
Another development. During the hearing on 16th of April, in the matter which the senior counsel had argued, in that the state had admitted, and it is recorded in the judgment, that the police custody must have hindered the health and privacy of this. So it's a serious matter. They have admitted. It is not just that we are saying it. They themselves have admitted that police custody is hampered.
We don't know. There was a statement by the AAG, which is a very serious statement, that if you go there, it is very easy for you to say that we can risk our lives, but we can't.
My lord, but at the cost of that is the only.
Maybe, but we are just asking you. No, we are not talking about the facility. Suppose you are.
Experience from the police person.
Suppose you are sent there.
Order, they will still traumatizing the patient by standing near him. By just
That we can request them.
Sir, that is a concern that has traumatized him, Mr. Hinton.
Look, I think in that application, the situation has now come to a point where they are asking that if they are permitted to be taken to Madhavbaug, Maharashtra. That prayer we had made before the coordinate bench, and in that they had sought some response from the authorities. That has been sorted, yes. Because earlier it was not. Earlier it was refused because at that time the elections were around the corner. The authority said that we cannot take this risk. So that was brought to the coordinate bench notice. And then in that situation, they said, now at the moment we can't send you to Madhava. But perhaps I'm informed that now that risk is over because they have said that we can do it because the elections are over. So I'm informed that they are ready to take him in custody to Madhava. But provided, as far as the private, what happens not in the private court, what they do is, if they put 4 constables, for those 4 constables, when they charge privately, it goes, the bill runs into lakhs of rupees. So there has to be some balance brought. But as far as sending in custody is concerned, I'm informed that
The payroll rules itself prescribe for a custodial cost, Mr.
that's right, but that has to be reasonable. If the constable draws a reasonable salary and when he is put on a private job, that it is manifold per day, then the monthly salary, then in that situation, earlier we kept on paying even at Arogyam. But then they said that now we are paying.
No, you
more.
tell us a clear stand, Mr. Baju. It is not, don't keep us in between, because in between you will leave us where we are.
If I were to say something, I would never keep the court.
Yes, so please tell us this way or that way. You are ready or you are not ready. Maybe you can tell us at 2, Mr. Bajwa.
After lunch, after the.
Yes, you can tell us at 2.
Seek instructions and then get back to my lord.
We don't know whether we are going to release or not. We just don't know. We make it. Yes, it is a question which we have to bear in our mind while deciding. We don't know what is going to happen. We'll take their assistance. Maybe for that matter, we'll put the matter back in dictation. And maybe then it will be appropriate. 14th को वहाँ का sentence बन जाता था, but देख लेते हैं. हम इसको 20th को रख देते हैं. है ना? अपील को, पैरल को, सब चीज को. ये तो आप 2 बजे बता दीजिए.
जी.
Appeal we will hear after 14th.
Because if you are deem it proper.
Because we want to see we have seen the step-by-step submissions that you are making. So the point which you have made for immediate adjudication is your first step. You used an extremely harsh but a real word that you are worried about it getting abated. See, so
That's a fact, though.
so once you say it impacts the mind of the court also. So in case that kind of necessity is there, as it is being projected, which of course being an officer of this court and a very senior officer, you would not.
This is
So then Mr. Bajo,
I would
then
deviate
if-
from that. Whatever I tell the court, it is on the instructions.
Yes,
They
yes.
say that off and on he's been taken to AIMS. And 3 days back, he had severe angina.
That we have been told.
There, he's being treated. The AIMS has.
So
said-
whether that first line, first step for which we permit you adjudication, whether it will be fruitful or not, we should know.
Fruitful, I didn't get it. Bro.
You will get it.
No, because we are ready.
Fruitful in the sense, Mr. It is so simple. Your this thing is reserved there.
No, that's right.
So whether if we hear you out, we must know that the result of it will help you in your first step of saving your life or not. If it is helpful in saving if it is helpful it is fruitful means your life.
As far as parole is concerned, that parole, if it is allowed or dismissed,
No, probably
it doesn't get impacted in any way.
Probably you said that it is not a parole, it is a sentence suspension.
अच्छा आप अहमदाबाद वाली बात कर रहे हैं जी वो 14 को आएगा.
That is why we.
I thought the parole.
No. We are not. We are parole. Hold on. Parole. You tell us 2 o'clock. You are going.
As far as sentence is concerned, suspension of sentence, that verdict is coming on 14th.
So let us keep it on the next working day of 14th. That is on.
We have it on 20th. No?
20th.
20th. But the problem is not that when we go to Supreme Court and Supreme Court says, why don't you do the appeal? And all of this is happening, so much is happening that as far as his health is concerned, they have been filing applications and this parole has also come up before my lord. So 2 minutes back, they informed me that they have made a mention in the morning about the parole thing. I was also taken by surprise.
There should be some.
I had come ready. I am all ready and set to.
There should be some coordination, which we of course can't advise, but one thing is for sure that it was not an ordinary mentioning, it was a detailed mentioning. Ordinarily this court would not have heard it, but it was mentioned that he has got 6th heart attack. So whenever he is a concern of health of someone, the court always gets, tries to get some solution.
As far as the health is concerned, I'm sure whatever I've been told, the health is really failing. Because long back, AIMS had suggested that he severely needs a bypass.
You have a direct wakalatnama of the person. Or you have a direct wakalatnama. So you tell us at 2 that if he is willing to, if at all any order is made, is he willing to go in custody or not? You tell us. Today at 2 p.m. That is for the parole. No confusion. For the parole, you tell us. He is representing him, but we need an answer from you because you have the wakalatnama at 2 for the parole. And as far as the Bajwa Saab's appeal is concerned, we'll hear it after 14th. That is on 20th.
In such a catch-22, Lord, I'm informed that Ahmedabad says that even if we suspend your sentence, you are already inside in Jodhpur. And Jodhpur is waiting for the verdict of Ahmedabad.
That is
so we are stuck in a catch-22. Lord.
Mr. Bajwa, there is a difference between sentence suspension and appeal decision.
That's right, Lord.
So,
But as far as suspension of sentence here is concerned,
suspension of sentence is akin to bail.
That's it.
So that has to be, in any way, that has to be decided. Appeal always has a longer span of life and also, so
Much longer.
probably there cannot be an equation.
There can't be.
You are not going to
As far
Gujarat?
as incarceration is concerned.
You are not going to Gujarat? You are not going to Gujarat?
No, I'm not going to Gujarat. No.
Okay. So,
Can we have it on 20th?
yes.
On the reopening.
Yes. List on 20th. List on 20th. Appeal के लिए करिएगा. That mentioning Mr. Boda will make at 2.
इसमें अब कल वो मेरे तरफ से ये कहते हैं मैं तैयार हूँ क्योंकि होता ये है then they reprimand me that you go and you take a date there Supreme Court says you are not doing it. So I am also in a catch-22.
The counsel for the
Received by Lord indulgence that as far as the order sheet is concerned, it should not reflect that I have taken a date.
how does it matter? It will.
Supreme Court says आप वहाँ बहस नहीं करते और यहाँ क्या आप एप्लीकेशन लगा देते हो कि साहब हमारी बहस नहीं होगी.
Apex Court has all the rights, Mr. Bajwa.
Boss is always right.
No, we don't say boss, but it is the constitutional superior.
That's a saying, Lord. Just a proverb.
Convince to let them also translate it.
Yeah, that I'm requesting.
We can request.
There is another request also on 20th. If the focal points of the appeal documents, if you could help us with some translation.
Translation, Lord, there are.
Not the complete brief.
What happened was, since this matter has been living here for years, there are so many stories which go on. What happened is, what did Ben said that these are 11 paper books. It's very difficult to go through the 11 paper book. So whatever is important, quantize that in 1 or 2 paper books, 1 or 2 volumes. We did that, and I also informed there, out of my habit to be fair, that whatever is important to me might not be important to them. So whatever I make, they will say there are something else more important. But the court said, no, you do that first. We did it. And that, another set of 2 volumes is already ready. But that also did not fructify, Lords. But we will try, but the period is too short, Lords. I think how many pages are
No, not that everything has to be done that way, Mr. Bajwa. We understand the
Lord,
constraint.
there are about
How long is the impugn order?
translation.
How long is head translation? Fir kya hai? Then why are you worried? Then what? Then provide those translated copies. It will help lordships to understand. To translate. It will make the task easier.
Anxiety was that there are 5,000 pages translation.
No.
It will take more time.
No. We'll not.
We already have it, so.
Fair enough. The counsel for the appellant, senior advocate Mr. V.R. Bajwa, assisted by Madam Savita Nathawat and Shri Nishant Boda, are prepared, want to open the submissions for the appeal on count of long incarceration. The Additional Advocate General and the Government Advocate, Mr. Joshi and Mr. Chaparwal, submit that the emergent parole application has been heard by this court and has been reserved, whereas the validity of Rule 1 of whereas the validity of a part of the Rule 1 of the rules of parole prison rules 2021 is also under challenge, and therefore, in case the matter is deferred for a few days to wait for the verdict of the emergent parole, it would be more appropriate. It would be in the interest of justice. Full stop. This court is also informed by the counsel for the appellant that the health of the appellant has deteriorated in last few days, so much so that he has suffered a anginal issue in last 3 days, and thus immediate adjudication is requested. It is further informed by the counsel for the appellants that in a parallel criminal appeal for a different case, of course, in which for which the sentences are concurrently running. The appeal is pending before the Honorable Gujarat High Court, and in that the submissions are complete and the order has been reserved for pronouncement.
For suspension.
The order for sentence suspension has been reserved. Full stop. In the overall perspective,
Reserved for 14th. More clear.
reserved for 14th August 2024, the sentence has been reserved to be pronounced on 14th August 2024. Full stop. In the overall perspective, it is deemed appropriate to list the matter on 20th August 2024 with an understanding that all the parties shall make an endeavor to make their submissions for adjudication. The appellants, it is also noted that the appellants have assured this court that they would also be providing translated copy of the relevant portions of
2 days.
the record
Time to read. We'll give it before 14th.
during the intervening period. Full stop. Mr. Boda, 2 o'clock. You tell us. Anybody can tell us, but anybody who is representing the person.
It's the right person.
Yes.
Serial number 55.
Yes.